The Pope is the Antichrist. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. A New Hampshire state representative who supports Donald Trump referred to the Pope as the Antichrist in a Facebook post thread. That comment came in a thread the same day, February 18th, that Pope Francis suggested that Trump's desire to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico is not Christian, provoking a response from the Republican frontrunner. Before I continue, Mexico has a wall between Mexico and Guatemala with a fence, with barbed wire, and armed guards that guard it. So if anybody's trying to argue about a wall for the United States, they're arguing from a point of stupidity. Susan DeLemus, in a thread to a post on one of her favorite psalms, was asked by a commenter if she saw the Pope's comments. Quote, "The Pope is the Antichrist. Do your research," DeLemus wrote, following up in the thread saying, "I'm not sure who the Pope truly has in his heart." DeLemus on Monday told Politico she was actually referring to the papacy. Quote, "I was actually referring to the papacy. And what I wrote after that, do your research. If you read the Geneva Bible, which is the Bible I use when we study, the commentary is actually by the founders of the United States, actually the Protestant Church. Their commentary references the papacy as the Antichrist," DeLemus said. And I think actually in one part of it, and I don't remember who was that wrote it, there was one of the popes that had referenced as the Antichrist. So that's all I was referring to, the papacy. Not particularly that one particular pope, because the papacy is a seat. It's not just one person. She added, "I'm not saying the Pope is going to start growing horns and a tail and start poking people." But DeLemus didn't shy away from weighing in on the Pope Francis comments. "I'm not Catholic, so I don't think he's infallible. I believe he's fallible just like the rest of us," DeLemus said. "I'm really not a respecter of men. It's really God I respect, and he's the head of the leader." DeLemus added that she didn't think it was fair to the Pope, or anyone else for that matter, to judge whether anyone else is Christian or not. Some people who have accepted Christ believe that they're Christian, and then they fall away. Or they get elected Pope, or they never had salvation, or they do have it. That's not really our business. For me, I love Jesus Christ. I believe he is the Son of God. I love God, and I believe I am saved sinner. That's who I am. And that's how I try to live my life. And as you can see, I'm completely fallible and human and make mistakes as well, as we all do. End quote. Now, for the record, Vatican City has like a 90-foot tall wall around it. And they have guards. And the guards guard the gates. And you can't get into Vatican City at all unless you have business in Vatican City. Mexico has walls. A lot of the Central American countries have walls and gates and fences and barbed wires and guards. And you can't get into them unless you have business in that country. We already have, quote unquote, a wall. It's just that there's tunnels underneath it. They've busted it open. We don't have enough people to guard it. So this entire debate about a wall, or the debate that somebody isn't Christian for trying to keep somebody out, which is ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing for the Pope to say, and I'm Roman Catholic, or I'm Roman Catholic. That's ridiculous. He does not have neither the authority nor the right nor even a place. That's not his place to even say that. To build a wall is unchristian-like. There's already a wall there. So what are you talking about? You're making statements for the people. You're not making statements for God. If there is somebody who is not Christian, it would be Pope Francis. It has been a grave disappointment to me that this man is sitting on the Holy See of Rome. I don't know if he's the quote-unquote Antichrist, but he sure isn't a pope. He sure is not. And I don't want to hear the stories. He goes at night and feeds the poor. Do you not know that Satan is nice, gentle, calming, soothing? Satan, the father of lies. Isn't that on par with the father of lies? That you would be nice and gentle. If your business is corruption, you don't have to hit somebody over the head to corrupt them. And in fact, hitting them over the head would be counterproductive, would it not? If you're going to corrupt somebody and their soul is the end goal and you're playing for keeps for eternity, being nice would be par for course, wouldn't it? That would be the modus operandi. Oh, let me feed the poor. Let me clothe the naked. Let me visit the sick. Do you not know that drug dealers give drugs out for free? Ah, yes. And they're some of the most successful drug dealers, giving out drugs for free. Well, that's so nice of them, isn't it? Oh my God. Tell me what you think. Do you believe in all this malarkey about Antichrist? Now, for the atheist, you can talk too. It doesn't mean that you believe in the Antichrist, but you recognize that there are religious people who believe in this hocus pocus, and that there can be a guy who so believes in the hocus pocus as to serve as the Antichrist, right? You see how it all works out together? Do I think Satan is going to come through some woman and give birth to a human that's half human, half demon, and that person is going to rule the no, I absolutely do not. That is more of man thinking that he's a center of attention in a vast, vacuous universe. Man is insignificant. The only thing man needs to worry about is making sure he doesn't destroy his own planet where he lives. He can't destroy the planet. I think somebody said even if they did launch all of the nukes and what have you, the only thing it would do would be kill off all of the big animals. That's humans, giraffes, elephants, lions, stuff like that. And all the insects would be fine. I think the big animals, fish and mammals would be nixed, like the whales, sharks, dolphins, stuff like that. They would be nixed because the temperatures would rise, and because those types of seafaring mammals are on the surface of the world versus the stuff that's deep in the ocean, and temperature doesn't even change down there. That's what would happen. We cannot even destroy the planet, not properly. It would take, it takes something like a Super Saiyan to do that, I mean, since we're talking, right? Since we're talking about hocus pocus. So the only thing that man should be concerned about is being nice and gentle to his fellow man. There are people who believe in an Antichrist. There are people who believe that they can be the Antichrist and usher in a new era of evil. Just because, what's the movie quote? Some men like to see the world burn. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Show.